Hey there my fellow golfers, I've got the new Callaway Great Big Bertha OS iron. If you're a high handicapper, you definitely need to have a look at this. It's a game improvement iron. Very wide shell, as you can immediately see there. Helps keep the club nice and stable on those mishits. It has a hollow body construction, has a very low center of gravity to help you get the ball up in the air, and it is extremely stable due to a very high MOI value, meaning your mishits shouldn't go too far offline. It is literally hollow into the hosel of this club, meaning that it is basically air all the way through the head. The weight that they save, they can then redistribute and reposition, in this case, very strategically in the toe and the heel areas by utilizing the tungsten weighting. But also the hollow body allows the moment of inertia to be increased. They can drag the weight down, pull it as far back as what they need it, giving them more flexibility with the design. Those little silver pieces in the toe and the heel, that is where the tungsten weight is situated. Now, tungsten weighting, for those of you that don't know, it's denser than steel, therefore it's heavier than steel. By utilizing that little bit of tungsten, that makes up about 30-35% of the club head's weight, and you can see it's to the absolute extreme perimeter of the golf club. Meaning if you hit it in the heel or the toe, the club doesn't want to veer off line too much because the tungsten weighting is keeping it stable, pushing the club through forward. The Cup Face 360 does make its way into the Big Bertha OS iron. This allows the engineers to use a very thin sheet of steel, which they then can wrap around the frame of the golf club effectively, meaning that some of it is overlapping onto the crown of the club or the top line of the club, and some to the sole of the golf club. What that allows is a single thin piece of metal to flex, giving you more speed, more distance, especially evident on those mishits. Further enhancing this cup face technology is a new technology that they've implemented in this iron called the exoskeleton. If you're hitting it towards the toe area or the heel area, and we're talking severely, not little mishits, some of that energy gets lost purely because that area is going to flex more than what the center of the golf club would. All that energy going backwards might be pushing slightly sideways when it comes back out. To combat this and to make sure that the most amount of energy possible can get back to the golf ball, they've implemented the exoskeleton, which sits behind the face. This allows the cup face to move backwards until a certain point. At that point, the face will hit the two little bars and be forced to go straight back. By going straight back, we're alleviating that little bit of an angle I mentioned earlier, meaning that your toe and your heel hits should come out much straighter than they did before, purely because the face is remaining intact, if I can put it to you that way. So moving along to the shaft, I've got with me here the Speed Step 80 now. Don't let that 80 mislead you guys. The actual weight of the shaft is around 90 grams depending on regular or stiff. We found 90 gram shafts to be best suited to your slow to mid-swing speed players, purely because it's light enough to give you the added benefit of speed, but it remains stable enough to not start hitting the golf ball all over the show. The graphite variant in this is of course the UST recoil. Phenomenal graphite shaft. Go do some research on it. In my opinion, the best graphite shaft you can fit to an iron on the marketplace today. These are definitely aimed at your 16, 17 handicappers and upwards, purely based on the forgiveness properties of the head, the distance properties of the head. I can tell you now from my own testing that in this category for the super game improvement iron, there is nothing that goes longer than the Big Bertha OS. So if you are one of those guys sitting watching this going, but hang on, I'm in the market, I'm a slightly slower swinger and I want tons of distance, then the Big Bertha OS is something you definitely need to look at.